I didn't waste time with, I ain't waste time with bearing or minute fluency today. We're just gonna move straight on into what we're talking about. Hopefully we can finish that practice and some more of us can submit some grades. So today is Thursday, ASP2. I can evaluate trend lines and scatter plots with 65% mastery. What we learned about scatter plots yesterday?
We learned the fact that what is called positive association and negative association.
Good. And so today we're gonna put some lines with those positive and negative associations. All right, always remember that you are a champion. A lot has been happening, but we got it. All right, so just to review some of these vocabulary. All right, scatter plots have trends that can be described with straight lines. We learned that on yesterday. You all said a positive or a negative. And then points will not all fall as close to the same line, but the aim is to have the smallest possible total distance from the points and the line. So in other words, when we draw that line, we want to make sure all those points are as close to that line as possible. We then have what's called as residuals. Residuals are the difference between the y-coordinates of the actual points on the scatter plot and those are the points on the line of errors. So then we'll look at a point that's not on the line and we'll just see how close it was to the line. And then of course that line is known as the line of best fit or a trend line. We typically call it a trend line. And what it does, it minimizes the distance between the actual data points and the line placed on the graph. This is a trend line that's going through this scatter plot. What you notice about the points? Or what did that line do to the points? Okay, they are together. Some there. There is Alan. You say Alan? All right, think again. Look at this line. About how many points would you say is above it, and about how many points would we say are below it?
About 8 points is below.
Okay, what about above? 4. All right. So in other words, some things to remember is that we kind of want that line to be halfway through the points. And I know you said 8, and a lot of them were touching that points. But the main thing we kind of want to make sure is split between the points. We need an even number up top or half up top and half on the bottom. We can't have a line where we got all the points below it or we got all the points above it. It ain't gonna work. So today, the only thing we're pretty much looking at is determining, will it be a line of best fit, meaning will it work? All right, y'all internet slow, y'all done made it to practice? All right. Braylon, Steven, you can go ahead and get to practice. All right, we're gonna try to get through as much as we can. All right. Number 1 says, Bridget drew a trend line shown in the following scatter plot. Part A asks us, which statement best explains whether the trend line is a good fit for the data? Look at that trend line. What do you notice? Thursday? You went Thursday? Number 1? It mentioned Bridget. You in the wrong one? Tamia, you in the right one? Zen? Okay. All right, what you notice about the points in this line? All right, good. So would it be a good fit or a bad fit? Good. All right, so look at A and B and see which one tells us why it was that bad fit that you said to take. Good job. So I say part A, B. All right, now let's look at B. Part B said determine which description of trend lines would be a better fit for the data. So they know that's a bad fit, and now they want us to figure out which could possibly be a good fit. So answer choice A, they gave us 10, 20, and 45, 40. So let's see what it said. 10, 20 is about there. 45, 40 is there. All right, what if I drew the line like this? Look at that green line. Can y'all see the green line? All right, would you now say we have half points above it and half points below it? Okay, so that means no. So for part B on that, I would say no, more points above it. All right, number 2 asked us to look at 10, 15, and 45, 35. It's this one and this one. All right, look at this red line. Would you say that red line would be a good fit? How does it look? Do we have more points above, more points below? Is it right in the middle? All right, I heard somebody say more points above, so that means it will not work. All right, the next they asked us about 10, 15, and 50, 15. That's about right here, these 2 points. All right, all of them was above it. All right, let's look at this last one. 20, 25, and 35, 35. Let's see. 25 will be right there. 35 will be right there. All right, so what if I drew a line where this purple line is? You say it's about what, London? It's about in the middle? You all agree it's in the middle? So yes, we'll go with yes. It's about in the middle. So the whole goal is mainly to see, is it in the middle? Do I have some points above it? Do I have some points below it? We can have an outlier, but most of those points need to be close to the line. Y'all got what you need? No? Okay. Let me know you're ready to be. All right, number 2. Number 2 says, through which pair of points could a trend line be drawn to represent the data? So once again, we're trying to check and see, would it be a good fit? All right, A said A through F. All right, so I'm gonna draw the line. You tell us if it'll work or not. All right, all the points are below it, good. All right, next they said B and E. All right, what about if it looked like that? Yes, it looks like it's about halfway. All right, then they asked us about B and G. All right, clear tonight. All of them are pretty much above it. All right, next they asked us about C and E. Okay, she said, yeah, it almost looks like it's in the middle. All right, next they asked us about D and G. It's down here, clearly not. All right, and last they asked us about E and G. Clearly not, too many on that side, good. So for that one, we should have B and D. Multiple choice are always the easiest because you ain't got to put nothing else with it but that answer. All right, 3 students are analyzing bean seedlings grown for a science experiment. It says the scatter plot shows the heights of the seedlings and the number of leaves on each plant. Eighth grade. Four. I know me, weird. Okay, so we got 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am. So these are your books to keep. You don't have to return them. You can take them home with you. Read them, take AR tests, leave them at home, and go to the library at home, okay? And I highlight those. All right, so it says each student draws a different trend line for the data. Kathy draws a line between points A and E. We got Calvin drew a line between points B and D, and then Deanna drew a line between points C and F. And they want us to explain whether or not each student's trend line represents the data. So let's see. First person they mentioned was Kathy, and they said she went through A and E. Come up here. I hate trying to freeform draw. So that's what Kathy's line would look like. Do you think that'll be a good fit? Yeah? All right, why you say yeah? Okay, it looks like it's going through the middle. All right, good job. All right, the next person they mentioned, and I'm gonna just change the pink color to blue. They mentioned Calvin, and Calvin went through B and D. All right, so try to ignore the red, and there's the blue. Matter of fact, I'm gonna erase Kathy's so we can clearly see the blue. All right, would you say that blue line would work? Why you say no? A little bit? All right, so let me ask you this. What kind of association did the points have? So that means my line should also be what? So now, do you think he'll work? Nope, he went the opposite of the association. All right, and last but not least, we got Deanna. I'm gonna put her in the green. Deanna made a line through C and F. Why you say no?
Most of them are below, not below, but above.
Okay. What is it? Kathy was the only one that looked like it was about going through the middle. Calvin possibly could have been correct had he went the correct direction. And then we got Deanna. Most of them are above the line. Any questions about it? Y'all still typing? Mr. Finley drew 2 different trend lines for his data showing students added the test scores and time spent studying on the practice website. The first trend line accounts for the value that appears to be an outlier. This outlier was caused when one student logged into the wrong workstation and added study time to the wrong person. Which trend line is used? So which one of those would y'all say is a good fit? The second one, why you say the second one? Okay. The second trend line, because the first trend line had more points above the line. That'll work. Any questions about looking at the line and seeing where the points at and if it's a good fit? Y'all got any questions about that? All right, we got it. All right, this Scatterplot shows students added the test scores and the time they spent studying on a different website. Do you think a trend line is appropriate for this data? Explain. You think we can make a trend line with those points? Why you say no, London? Okay, they're scattered everywhere. So no, because there is no association. She said the points are scattered everywhere. And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier. If we can't draw a line or it looks like they're going in line form, it'll be known. Y'all got it? All right, they asked which Scatterplot lends itself to having a trend line fit for the data. Look at both A and B. Do you think we can make a trend line with either of those? Why you say no to me?
She said no, but I say no because they not. You can't just make a straight line or a line through the middle.
Why not? Because they got a what? Like you're trying to think. Neither. C is the correct answer because there was a curve. All right, they said Marnie would have chose A. So that means if she chose A, she didn't take account of the what? Good job. She didn't pay attention to that curve. Now, we could possibly draw a line, but with it having that curve, look what happens. We don't too much have no points really just close to that line like it should be. And B would definitely be all the way off with trying to draw a straight line. They would just make their hooks or curve. All right, 7 says, suppose two trend lines are sketched for the same data set in the scatter plot. How can you determine which of the two lines is the better fit? Read those answer choices and think about which ones will be the better fit. A, closest to the points in the scatter plot. Y'all agree with it? All right, Braylon says A as well. B says steepest. Does it matter which one is the steepest? Does it matter which one has the greatest y-intercept? Does it matter where across that x-axis is? Nope. Only thing that matters is it need to be close to all of the points. Good job. Moving a little fast, but if y'all got some questions, just say, slow down, Miss Kitchen. All right, it says the teacher began collecting data for a particular test to see if an association exists between a student's time spent studying for the test and a student's test score. The data for most of her students is presented in the scatter plot below. A line of best fit shows the relationship. A says there is a negative association between study times and test scores. Would you say that has a negative association? What it got? Good job. It's positive. It's increasing. All right, so I just say A, false, is positive. All right, part B said the trend line predicts that a student who studies 80 minutes will get a test score of at least 75%. All right, so let's find the minutes. 80 would be about right there. If they continue that line, it would meet about right there. I go across over, would you say that's about 75% or better? Yeah, I would probably say yes. Be close to 80. Yeah. All right, C says the data values are more clustered around the trend line for study times of 40 minutes and higher. All right, so is it more clustered 40 minutes or higher? Yes, they are very close together. All right, D says the trend line predicts that a student who spends no time studying will get a 0%. So if I didn't spend no time studying, that'll be 0 time. And if that line continue, will it cross that y-axis at 0? Will it cross that y-axis at 0 like they said? What kind of score would I have if I didn't study none? I know, look right here. Where that line is? It's about a 35. So I mean, even without studying, that student could have made at least about a 35. All right, and then E says a student who studied for 70 minutes but received a test score of 40 can be considered an outlier. Would you say this guy is an outlier? He away from everybody else. Good. Any questions about it? Y'all got it? All right. I'm gonna try to get us through as much as we can with others. All right, number 9, which line is the best fit for the data? B? Okay. A and C look like they had too many on the bottom, and then we got D look like it got too many on top. Good job. B is the correct answer. All right, number 10 said tell if it's true or false. Data points that lie above the trend line should be about the same distance as the data points below it. All right, you said not always true, but look at the wording they use. About. Could we now say that may be true if it's not always true? Yeah, we can go with that. That's about took away that not always true. All right, it says a line of best fit must go through at least one data point. Do I got to touch the point? Good job. So that will be false. As long as I separate the points, I don't have to touch it. It's good if I do, but it's still okay if I don't. C says the trend line is a good fit for the data if all the data points are fairly close to it. That's true. They all need to be close to that line. And then D says the trend line must go through the origin. That's false. Don't necessarily have to go through the origin. Any questions about it? All right, so you should add true, false, true, false. All right, it reads the scatter plot compares 10 daily high temperatures and the number of snow cones sold. John drew the following trend line to represent the data. Mary thinks there is a better trend line. What might she be thinking? Look at what John did. It don't look good, and mainly because of why? And what kind of association do we have? Positive. So that means John needs to bring his line up a little bit more. So Mary is thinking that there's a positive association. So John's line should be steeper. That's what Mary thinking. Like, hey, his line need to be somewhat like that, going through those points. It's okay to have an outlier, but it definitely can't go through like that. All right, y'all got it? Got it to me? All right. Number 2 said draw a trend line for each of the following scatter plots. If the data has no association, write no association. So let's look at E. What would you say? All right, what about F? Yes, for what? What kind? Negative association? About between what points could I possibly draw that line? I'm gonna try to draw us a line. Yeah, I already started off quick. I just rather go through halfway. All right, so if we were to take it through there, what points would we say F could go through? 0, that's about at the origin. We'll go with that. 7, 0. Somebody give us another one. Get one of these points right there. Y'all see these 3 points? Somebody give us a coordinate of one of them 3. Okay, so if I start at 5, I'm gonna say 5 and 2. Right there, so yeah, we can use them too. All right, looking at G, what kind of association does it have? All right, so we can draw us a line. All right, now it's not quite touching any, but we can still give some points that it would touch. All right, we could possibly get this point for those of us who can see it. And we could possibly get this point. Maybe all the see and then they will do. Y'all see them midpoints?
The one below?
D right here. That I kind of had to make. 4, 4, okay. And what's the other one? I think it's about 3. We'll go with it. So this one that told you to draw, but you can't draw on that practice. So I was showing you how you can still put your points and still get full credit for it. That's all. Y'all got it? All right, 13. Paul and Joe place the trend lines in a data set at different locations. The data set includes the following X, Y ordered pairs: 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2, 5, 5, 8, 5. Whose line better captures the trend for the data? Why you say Paul? Okay. Sounds good. Paul kind of went through the middle. We got 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, and then he touched 1. But Joe had all his above it. So nope, that won't work. We got 2 more. Is 3 more? No, I think the last one is an upload. If you want to upload your work. All right, y'all got it? All right, 14. Mr. Finley is analyzing the data on students after the test scores and the number of texts they sent the day before the test. He puts the data in a scatter plot and is about to draw a trend line. What would a trend line show? What'd you say? Good job. There's a negative association. Will it be able to show us anything else? Or that pretty much covered? There is a negative association, dude. All right, last but not least. It asks which line is a better fit for the data in the scatter plot, and they said explain your choice. Why? And he said the points are close. What about A?
Good afternoon, staff, teachers. The students almost spent the night tonight. I'm sure you probably would have called me ASAP and said, where the buses? But anyway, we are getting ready for dismissal at this time. Any staff members that is not holding a class, please make sure you are on duty at this moment because we're about to start releasing car riders. I'm sure Ms. Easterland is ready and her car rider crew. So kindergarten and first grade, You may release your car riders. K1 car riders, you are dismissed at this time. Let's go ahead and dismiss second grade car riders. K1, 2 car riders, you are dismissed at this time. I'll be back on for any bus notes and changes. Thank you.
Any questions? Everybody got it? You see a typo? Okay. All right, I think that was the last one. So if you typed all your stuff and you hit all your boxes, you can go ahead and hit submit. You got it, Taki? Tamika? Sin? London? All right, those of you at home, hope you got all you needed for today's practice as well, and you can go ahead and submit as well. If you missed anything, I will be posting the recording shortly. Have a good one. Hello.